Martha Jones is the best Doctor Who companion ever from Doctor Who.
I am good.
Bold statement, it may be, and of course only an opinion, but a character which quite often goes under the radar for her contribution, and how she changed the Doctor as well as herself cannot be left untalked about. This is the analysis of Martha Jones, the best Doctor Who companion. Martha Jones, played by the amazing Freema Agyeman, first made her appearance in Smith & Jones in Series 3 of New Who. Well, nearly her first, excluding that, which I'm not going to count. Now, Russell T Davies may have done things which really pissed off many fans over the years. But one thing you can't fault him for is how he introduces his characters. Like Rose, for example, was given almost a whole episode dedicated to showing how boring and mundane her life is, but we learn a lot about her, and then when she does jump into the TARDIS at the end, we understand why and agree with her decision. Plus, the first episode is called Rose. This is why having a shorter episode count damages new characters, because we don't really get moments like this anymore. Because everything is squeezed and rushed through. Like, she got a key after that. Anyway, back to Martha. The character, which is often labelled as a ruined character for her love interest with the Doctor.
Hello.
And I won't deny she was written up for some massively awkward scenes. And sometimes she was only there for 10 to blab on about Rose.
Rose had known.
But, and it's a big but, she comes away stronger, cleverer and less naive. And that journey she goes on, although rocky at times, makes her stand out as the best companion to me. Now, I know I've already made some big bold statements, but here comes another one. Smith & Jones is better than 11th Hour. I know, all the Moffat fans are crying into their fish fingers and custard, but let me explain myself. Within the first 2 minutes of the episode, and that includes the opening titles, we are introduced with Martha and Martha's family straight away. This was quick, slick and very cleverly done. This establishes Martha as an important character, whilst giving us a quick yet simple way of bringing this character to life, as we find out how she interacts on the phone with her family. And her family has an array of different personalities, and the way she deals and reacts with them is really interesting. We see her interact with one of the villains straight away, and we see that she's outspoken and speaks for herself. And we see her with the Doctor, they're bouncing off each other. It's great chemistry between the two. With them both obviously being stuck together on the moon in a hospital with the Judoon. So they're forced to talk to each other, they help each other without it feeling too forced, and as I said, they click pretty much instantly, and it makes the viewers, makes us quite excited for this new companion. Then there's the big elephant in the room. Yeah, and this is where it started. At the end of Smith & Jones, there's an interesting conversation where Martha says she's not remotely interested in the Doctor. Look at lies, it's lies. Look at that face. Lies, lies, lies. Let's fast forward a bit through the season. Honestly, some great banter between Shakespeare and Martha. But in Gridlock, we see how much the Doctor cares for Martha, with the whole episode more or less trying to find Martha. Now, that's obviously not the main whole thing that's happening in the episode, but the Doctor risks his life. He's jumping from car to car, which offers some very entertaining scenes. The whole reason he's doing it, as well as trying to find out what is going on, he's trying to find Martha. At the end of the episode, we see them grow closer as the Doctor opens up about his past. We ain't even talking about that two-parter because it just... ugh. In the Lazarus experiment, we see the trust that Martha has with the Doctor. She tells her family about how good the Doctor is. Her mum isn't so convinced, but of course a certain Harold Saxon has something to do about this. but...
Spoilers.
Now, Martha sometimes struggled with how to deal with the Doctor, but it was made much worse in the Family of Blood when John Smith arrived and all the pressure was put on Martha. Yes, the Doctor was a human.
Completely human.
Whilst this saw Martha take control and insert her capabilities, it also reminded the audience of her jealousy, which was getting a little bit tiring at that point. But that doesn't hide away that she was amazing in this two-parter, and it is one of the best two-parters still to this day of Doctor Who. In Blink, she kind of got a break. There's not really much to comment about Martha or the Doctor. The episode is full of praise for one person and one person only.
What was your name?
Sally Sparrow.
Good to meet you, Sally Sparrow.
Roll on the finale.
You are not alone.
It's bloody good stuff, this. Like, let's get it out there. It's a three-parter. Like, it's always has been, always will be. I don't quite understand the argument that Utopia is separate from the finale. Like, it's literally not. You see how Utopia ends. You see how Sound of the Drum starts. It's obviously the first part into the second. Utopia is fantastic, mainly because of how the Master is introduced and the realisation that the Doctor is not alone. And of course, Captain Jack is back, and I think that it brings a new dynamic between the three, which I think does help the whole Martha and Doctor situation, which I wasn't liking, apart from when the Doctor and Jack do mention Rose again, and again, Martha's face
Good old Rose.
is a script. It says it all. Martha finds a great friend in Champfo. I do miss Champfo. And Martha's right beside her when she dies. She seems like the only one that truly cared. Roll on the Master, taking over the world. So the Doctor that. And Jack had been killed again. The human race was on the brink of extinction. There was only one woman who could save the world.
Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister.
No, not her. So, Martha's family was in prison and all hope looked lost. So, she went around the world for a whole year, passing on the legend of the Doctor. This saw her on her own quest. It was like the Martha Jones quest, and it was amazing. And of course, a little bit of love interest between her and the Doctor, the other Doctor. But that felt a bit nicer because the other Doctor actually was treating Martha quite nicely. Now, whatever you thought of that, hey, look, the power of prayer, it gets us there. It was all down to Martha. And from going through all of that, she remembered it all. This made her realise that being with the Doctor just wasn't for her. And this is when she shined brighter than any other companion. Her exit from the show, sort of exit, as a main companion exit. It was brilliant. And finally, when they're in the TARDIS talking, it felt like her moment which she takes control of, and she comes away looking more stronger, more capable, and more of a role model. Series 3, done. Roll on to Series 4, and she does reappear in the Sontaran stratagem. The vibe is a little bit different because obviously now Donna Noble is the main companion, but we straight away get the vibe that just see how much stronger she is and how much she's truly changed for the better. Now, of course, her turning into a soldier was controversial for some fans because of just how different it made her look. And Donna made a comment to the Doctor sort of about this situation where she asks him, is this what you do? You turn them into soldiers? But I think this personally just proved her bravery and strong willingness to be more independent, and it's a real show how much less she needs the Doctor. Now she has her own responsibilities to be thinking about. The two-parter was, I have a very up and down relationship with that two-parter, but Martha was set to leave at the end of Poison Sky, only to be trapped in the TARDIS and end up in the Doctor's daughter.
Hello, Dad.
Which we do see her second exit, again, sort of. The Doctor calling her Dr. Jones on their last conversation. It felt like a moment where the Doctor looked at Martha and saw her and not Rose. looked to her with respect. And look, the Doctor, you could see the Doctor has a lot of love for Martha, as does Martha for the Doctor. It was just that kind of friendship, or is it romantic, that we're getting tied into. But on a friendship level, getting down to the real core basics, the Doctor does love Martha as a friend.
Goodbye, Dr. Jones.
And then in the finale, this is finally her finale, she climbed even higher with her roles, having a massive important role of holding the Osterhagen key. After helping defeat the Daleks, even though it probably was more Donna, but Martha still had a part to play, she left with her head held high. Of course, this is not, I forgot, she just keeps reappearing. The finale, her proper finale. I don't know if this is a finale last time we see her, but I sort of count this as a finale because she doesn't really say anything, but it's a very, I don't think nothing has to be said. Now, at the end of time, I think we kind of were expecting her to make some sort of appearance with other companions making a little cameo. I think the situation we were shown with was certainly very random. I mean, Mickey and Martha being together, I don't have any issues with it, but it's exceptionally random. But then I guess Mickey was kind of got over Rose, so why not? And they give each other a look, and this is right at the end, the last time that this Doctor sees Martha, and the last time that Martha sees the Doctor. It did make me cry. I was such a crybaby for this whole finale, but that moment made me cry because that look of everything they've been through in a few seconds, everything they've ever felt for each other was shown in that. It was great acting. It was just a really nice last look and exceptionally sad. So, there we go. Martha Jones really was the Doctor's saviour at times. And obviously you could say every companion has these moments where they basically save the Doctor. But what's different about Martha is a drastic character change. And sometimes when you drastically change characters, it doesn't really work. That's if you're paired with somebody else or their own character arc in their development somewhere, they make a decision which changes their personality. If that's being good and turning to evil. But she's perceived not only by the audience, but by the Doctor, by how much she changes, and it feels deserved. And for that reason, she's my favourite Doctor Who companion. Side note, her time in Torchwood was really, really good. It was short, but there was a nice moment between her and Jack where Jack asks Martha if she misses him, and Martha straight up says no, but says maybe sometimes. But then she reminds herself that where she is now, what she's got, she doesn't need the Doctor. She doesn't, she may think about him because they went through so much, but she seems pretty happy. One thing I obviously dream of, and I do wonder how it would be, is if Martha was paired with another Doctor. Ncuti and Martha, let's see it. But in terms of appearing in Doctor Who again, you never know. Maybe one day. Don't forget to subscribe to the official New Who HQ channel.